And I see two questions from the audience. One is for Simone Bastianoni, and it is about ecological footprint and the carbon footprint. It seems that ecological footprint is not a rigorous indicator, and it could be better to use a carbon footprint. So what is your opinion on this, and why, of course? Unmute yourself, please.
My opinion is that every approach has its shortcoming, for sure. Maybe ecological footprint is not as precise as, or I mean, has more assumptions, let's say, also than other approaches. But there is a big but, because ecological footprint is the approach that is most understandable by the public, and so this is a very important feature in ecological footprint. That's why I think it's worth to work to make it better. It's not perfect, for sure. I mean, no approach is perfect. And I agree with you, and I have same data that the correlation with carbon footprint is very high. Also because carbon is the usually the top component. I mean, the most important component in ecological footprint. So, but it shows something else than carbon footprint also. So I would say it depends on what you want to use the approach for.
Okay, thank you. And the other question is for Harald Katzmeier. He wrote, if it's possible to give us a case where you have met all or some of this, how did it work out? Or if you have experienced relation with all or some of this.
This is a very fair question. No, yes and no. So first of all, as I showed in this one competing and completing diagram, so there's really opposing forces, but through to this effect of indirect mutualism, everyone benefits because it's the pre-requirement to go through the cycle. So they're not there. You just. But what we did was like we brought people in a workshop setting in a room where we had most of those functional roles represented, and we used like a software to look at what should be done to improve the area, to make it more what's needed and so on. Yeah. So, and what we managed was like really to work on a map where people differ. So where you have a huge variation, like in answering this question, but also where is like a common ground. And the common ground eventually was, and this was like the huge step forward, that people started to understand why, and you have to imagine this area is really huge. It's really huge. So, and there's like high-tech companies having their offices there, and next to the high-tech companies, you would have like a place for homeless people, a place for unemployed repairing bicycles. Nobody understood why that. What I mean, this does not really makes it sexy to all those classical incubators where startups are cramped and try and etc. So it was and suddenly they realized the idea and the concept, and from there on it was much easier not to love or like the other, but to at least have the respect why the other is here. And I'm not talking about trust, I'm really talking about respect. So it's like it's work, and there is a community, and this is Chris Mueller, it's his role. You need this person who really works the relationships, who really works the community, and the community can only be like and you have to hold all those contradictions and all the tensions. You have people in different stages of their business cycle. But the interesting thing is, talking about reinvention, when we did last in 2019, because we worked with them now for many years, and we were like, our philosophy was really applied from the beginning. Therefore, it's a beautiful business case that this can work. It can work. It can work. That to bring together this variety of roles, let them work and co-curate together who is missing, in order to create this culture and understanding of the variety of different roles. Because in the last time we did this, it was one third of the organizations there who said that they were like in the stage of reorganization and reinventing themselves. So they understood, so to speak, the necessity and the value of that. If everyone would be like in the reorganization stage, we would have a problem. So it's beautiful to have like these people who are at the growth stage, who are like in the crisis, who are in the moment of starting from scratch, etc., etc. But you need community organization, community management, and you have to have a very the capacity to hold those cross pressures, how it is called, and this cognitive dissonance, which resolves absolutely at the higher scale. Because when you look at this, there's no cognitive dissonance. Everything falls beautiful at its place, and everyone has its role in the whole. But the whole is not is in a stage of disequilibrium, of course. it's not a peaceful place. It's conflict, of course, friction.
Okay, thank you very much for the explanation.